It was barely noticeable. A small thing. Almost forgettable. A single porch light, left on in the middle of the day. Neighbors passed by. Delivery drivers walked up the path. No one questioned it. But later, when everything came apart, that light would become the detail no one could ignore. Because it wasn't just a light, it was a signal, and someone had been watching. Furs Lane looked like the kind of street you'd only see in real estate brochures. Tree-lined sidewalks, brick houses, perfectly trimmed hedges. The kind of place where nothing dramatic ever happens. And at number 14 lived Daniel Harper, 34, accountant, quiet, polite, predictable. He moved in 2 years earlier. No drama, no noise, no complaints. Neighbors described him the same way. Nice guy, kept to himself, always waved. He jogged every morning at 6:15, left for work at 8 sharp, returned home around 6:30. Routine, order, stability. If you mapped his life, it would look like a straight line. Even his house reflected that. Curtains always drawn halfway, garden neatly trimmed, bins taken out exactly on Wednesday nights. Nothing out of place. Nothing suspicious. At least, not at first. Because the first clue was something most people wouldn't even remember. It started with a dog. Mrs. Calder, who lived across the street, walked her Labrador every afternoon. Same time, same route. One Thursday, the dog stopped, right outside Daniel's house. It didn't bark. It didn't growl. It just froze, then slowly backed away. Mrs. Calder laughed it off. Dogs do weird things. But the next day, it happened again. And the day after that, the same reaction. The dog refused to go near the driveway. Still, no one thought much of it. Until the deliveries began. Packages. Small ones at first. Then larger boxes. Then late-night drop-offs. Daniel never ordered things before. He barely received mail. Now, drivers were coming after 9 p.m. One neighbor remembered hearing the door open, but never seeing the lights turn on inside. It was subtle, not enough to alarm anyone, just enough to feel slightly off. Then came the second clue, the porch light. It stayed on, morning, afternoon, even in bright sunlight. At first, neighbors assumed he forgot, but it stayed on for 3 weeks. Someone joked about it in the neighborhood chat. No response. Then, Daniel missed his morning jog. 1 day, then 2, then an entire week. But his car was still in the driveway, curtains still half drawn, in the porch light, still glowing. Another detail emerged, the trash bins. They stopped going out, but occasionally they appeared half full. No one saw him take them out. No one saw him bring them in. It was like things were happening without anyone witnessing them. Then came the sound. Late at night, a faint humming noise. Not loud, just enough to be heard if you were outside. One neighbor described it as electrical. Another said it sounded like a fan running constantly. But Daniel's house never used to make noise. And then, the third clue. The curtains moved. Not fully, just slightly, at random times. Yet no silhouette appeared behind them. No shadow, no movement. Just fabric, shifting. Curiosity turned into quiet concern. Someone suggested knocking, but no one wanted to seem intrusive. It was easier to assume everything was normal, until the car moved. Or rather, didn't. It stayed parked in the same position for 19 days. Dust began to collect on the windshield. Leaves gathered near the tires. But the porch light, still on, and the humming, still there. Then, the mail piled up, and suddenly, people noticed. Finally, someone called. A wellness check. Police arrived mid-afternoon, knocked on the door. No answer. They circled the house, checked windows. Everything locked. They contacted Daniel's workplace. He had taken leave 2 weeks ago. Vacation time. No red flags. No emergency contacts raised concerns. Eventually, they left. Conclusion? He was probably traveling. Maybe forgot the light. Maybe running appliances. Maybe nothing. The neighborhood relaxed. Relief settled in. The story seemed over. But one person kept thinking about the light. It was Daniel's next-door neighbor, Tom. He noticed something new. The light flickered. Not randomly. On, off, on again. 3 times. Then still. That night, it happened again. Tom recorded it. 3 flickers, pause, 3 flickers. It wasn't malfunctioning. It was intentional. That's when he looked closer. The bulb was smart-controlled, connected to Wi-Fi, but the router inside the house had no active internet connection, which meant someone was triggering it locally, inside. Police returned. This time, they forced entry. The humming stopped the moment the door opened. Inside, everything looked untouched, clean, organized, but cold, too cold. The source of the humming came from the basement. When officers descended, they found it. A small server setup, running, recording, monitoring, cameras, multiple angles, not just inside the house, outside too, front yard, street, neighboring homes. And then, the realization. Daniel hadn't been living normally. He had been documenting, mapping routines, tracking movements, but Daniel himself wasn't there. He had left weeks earlier. The porch light, it wasn't forgotten. It was programmed, a loop to simulate occupancy, to delay suspicion. The clue everyone missed was never just the light. It was the illusion of presence. Someone was gone long before anyone noticed. Why did no one question it sooner? Because humans trust patterns. Routine equals safety. Predictability equals normal. When something small changes, we rationalize it. The dog's reaction? Coincidence. Late deliveries. Online shopping. Missed jogs? Busy week. The porch light? Just forgetfulness. Each clue, harmless alone. Together, they told a story. But our brains don't connect dots unless we expect danger. And in quiet streets like Furs Lane, danger isn't expected. So the signs hide in plain sight. Today, number 14 is empty. The curtains are gone, the porch light replaced. But neighbors still talk about it. Not about what was found, but about what was missed. Because the unsettling truth isn't what Daniel did. It's how long he disappeared without anyone realizing. Sometimes, the loudest warning is the smallest detail. A light left on, a routine broken, a silence that lasts too long.